How long have you got before you'll have to pull the plug?
We've got a do supposed to be coming out in April. We won't be able to do it.
Sir Jim Ratcliffe hit a new all-time low this week when it was revealed he's cut funding for the charity run by the Association of Former Manchester United Players. Since 1985, the AFMUP have raised nearly £2 million, and some of that money has been a lifeline for old United heroes who never earned the riches enjoyed by today's superstars. It's a story that has shocked and embarrassed Manchester United fans all around the world.
Okay, so here I am with Jim Elms, trustee and treasurer of the Association of Former Manchester United Players. Now, Jim, I was going to be coming to see you to make a film about celebrating the 40th anniversary of the AFMUP, but that seems to be in doubt with today's news. Tell us about what's happened.
We've asked why we've only had our 20,000 instead of 40,000 this year for our sponsorship. The 20,000 that was due July and then the end of the month, they say we're not going to get. I asked why. They say they don't know money, they can't do it, but I can't understand why they can't support us.
The newspapers have taken the story, and it's front page news. How long have you got before you'll have to pull the plug?
We've got a do supposed to be coming out in April. We won't be able to do it.
So basically the last 2 quarters, which is 6 months, they haven't paid, have they?
No, not paid anything at all.
And I think just to make sure that fans are clear here, you're not raising money to help players who are overpaid. We're talking about supporting local charities. You've raised, I think it is over nearly £2 million over 40 years.
Nearly £2 million over the local charities.
And it's not just local charities and local good causes. You've also helped players in need, because people forget that players from your generation and some of the younger ones as well, they never really earned much money from playing football. I know you don't want to name names because you don't want to embarrass people who have been short of cash, but I do know that you've helped a lot of former players who've had medical bills they can't pay. You've helped families cover funeral costs.
Yes, funeral costs we've done. Yeah, done that regularly.
Just tell us about how the association first started, because as I understand it, you started in 1985, and it was people like the hero of Munich, Harry Gregg. Tell us about the people that started the association.
Yeah, so Harry Gregg. The big one really was Warren Bradley, who helped out. There's been a lot of the old players, they've done fantastic really, and we did really well with those, and it's gradually got that way where we're all getting that little bit older. We probably do need help from some of the younger ones.
And I think it's worth underlining the fact that this is a charity and you don't take any money, you're all volunteers. So it really does rely on people. I know Alan Gowling's the chairman, you're the trustee and the treasurer, you've got Alan Wardle who's helped for a long time.
Yes.
Without you guys, you wouldn't have raised this £2 million over the last 40 years, would you?
No, we wouldn't. We'd struggle really. And a lot of the old boys would struggle, I think. See, it's not just when they've died. Obviously, we look after. Many a time we get. Can we supply tickets for the youngster whose father has died or his granddad has died, who was obviously a player here, and we try and help them out if they can.
The way I've seen the Association of Former Manchester United Players is you have a very important role at the football club, because you help to preserve the legacy and the history of the football club, and you look after these old guys and do these good causes, but it's very much about keeping alive what the football club is all about. And I think that's where a lot of fans are disappointed with what Sir Jim Ratcliffe has done, because he's supposed to be a Manchester boy who grew up watching United, but he's turned from a pauper into a billionaire who seems to be not running the football club in a great way, is he?
No, I was very surprised really, because he came across it at the beginning as though he was going to really help and really be fantastic, and then it just seems to have dropped completely. I've not had any words from anyone directly to tell us that we can't continue again really next year.
So you have had some sort of dialogue with Omar Barada, haven't you? Because he's presumably having to contact somebody at the football club who's telling you why they're not paying.
Yeah, he phoned me probably about 10 days ago, something like that, and just said, we've not got the money, we can't pay you.
We've not got the money is a little bit of a statement, isn't it? Because I mean, they've absolutely wasted millions this year, haven't they? Getting rid of Eric Ten Hag, Dan Ashworth, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
I mean, they seem to waste money, but they're expecting other people to pay for it. We've seen that with the ticket prices, haven't we? Where they're expecting the fans to pay £66 for kids.
For kids, now it's ridiculous, that one, isn't it? Really, yeah. No, it's a dead end at the moment.
I mean, it's ironic, isn't it? Because exactly a year ago, when everybody thought, here's Jim will fix it, last Christmas, and a year on, it's Jim Ratcliffe has turned into Mr. Scrooge, hasn't he?
And we were so disappointed with him, really. I can't understand it, really. He came across really well, as you say, and it's not happened.
I know I speak to a lot of fans who are very disappointed because, I mean, I've been going to Old Trafford now since 1965, and I remember when I was a kid, when I was able to go on my own, it was only a few pence to go and stand on the Stretford end, and we've got a fantastic support, and the fans have helped to turn Manchester United into the best supporters club in the world, and it feels like we're not wanted anymore.
It's right. United had got such a fantastic name, didn't we? And we were a family club, and like you say, it's just gone from that to really no one that speaks to us, really.
But that's why I feel like your role is so important as the Association of Former Players, because you're the guys that are our link with the past and what the football club was like and what our values are as fans and former players, and what the football club should be standing for.
Yeah, I just hope somebody will come on and let us know what we can do, if we can help in any other way, or I don't know, but we will help as much as we can, but we do need funds to do it.
So I know we've had quite a strong reaction from fans who are really disbelieving what's happened here. And I know I've seen a lot of comments on social media of even some fans who want to dip into their own pockets to help the association. So it seems to me that the possible way forward, if you can't get the football club to do a U-turn and change their mind, that you've either got to look for sponsors or you've got to look for crowdfunding.
Yeah, that would be lovely if we could get some sponsors, yes.
I know there are people in the background that I've spoken to personally today that want to try and help the association. But obviously, in the meantime, you really want to keep the relationship with the football club, because it's not just the money. You have the events at Old Trafford, don't you?
Yes, we do. Everything's done at Old Trafford, yeah. So, and they look after us there very well, really. But this has just come out of the blue to us. This is why we can't understand it, really.
The staff at Old Trafford that look after you in the night, they're all fantastic, aren't they?
Oh, they're fabulous, yeah.
You're obviously having to look for alternative venues, aren't you, if you can't do Old Trafford, because you normally have it in the Manchester suite at Old Trafford. What happens if you can't get that room and they won't give it to you?
I don't know. We've got to look elsewhere, I suppose. My wife said try the Lancashire Cricket Club, but you never know. I had a year at Lancashire playing professional cricket, so I might know a couple of people there.
So just tell us a little bit about Jim Elms, because I know you're not a household name, but you have had a career at Manchester United in the lower teams, and I think you played with Bobby Moore once, didn't you, in an England game?
I played in the England youth side with Bobby Moore. I've played 4 times for England youth, and Bobby Moore was captain. I played wing half then at the time, yeah. So, but then I've got transferred to Crewe from Man U. Those were the days when it was only £20 a week, really, and so I found it better for me to play part-time pro, which I did with Hyde United, and get a job. So that's what I went and did. I went and got a job and played part-time pro.
Fantastic. You've never lost your love for Manchester United, clearly, and you've done a lot to help players who, if I'm being sort of honest about this, I think a lot of the players that you've helped have never really earned more than a couple of £100 a week, have they? So they're not. No. There's quite a big difference from what we see today with modern footballers.
Yeah, it is a massive difference, really, yeah. It's a different world, I think, really, now, the wages they get. And
what do you think when you see these current players who, I mean,
I say good luck to them, really. I'm jealous, but I say good luck to them. But I think, they could look at our side and perhaps pass a little down.
I mean, maybe you might even get some help from one of the players.
Maybe,
I mean, it was a great story when
know.
I know Bruno Fernandes wanted to help when Jim stopped all the staff being rewarded with tickets for the cup final and all the things that went with that. He offered to pay out of his own pocket. Do you hold any hope out that maybe you hear from one of the players?
It'd be wonderful if that happened. Really wonderful, yeah. Thank you.
And what about, I know we've mentioned what you do and the money that you raise, but the support that you've had over the years. We've mentioned people like Brian Robson and Martin Buchan and Paddy Crowan and Alex Stepney, all these old boys that come. They don't take any money out of the organisation, but they help to support you, don't they?
They come and they, in fact, like they'll buy a table and they'll have 10 guests on that table, which is fantastic, really. And I think they would still do that.
I think one of your biggest supporters has been Sir Alex Ferguson.
Sir Alex has been fantastic. He'll come and speak for us. He doesn't charge anything at all. Well, you know, he's such a brilliant showman anyway.
Because I know Sir Alex did the dinner earlier in the year when you had the tribute to Dennis Law, and that was fantastic, wasn't it?
He was amazing. He was really fantastic. Yeah, it was a real good do.
But I guess as he's been sort of axed from the payroll, I suppose he's not really in a position to help to fund the association himself, is he?
No, not really, no.
I spent years filming your events, and we had Frank Stapleton this year. We had Sir Alex Ferguson paying tribute to Dennis Law. We had a George Best night. Who have been your favourite ones?
Sir Bobby Charlton, fantastic. That was a wonderful night last year with Sir Bobby Charlton. Was amazing, really fantastic. We had Scholes. We had the winger, left winger, Giggsy, yeah.
Some critics mean nothing, so I threw them where they deserve to be thrown. Toilets, for instance.
I know I've spoken to Alan Wardle, and he said he'd love to get Eric Cantona, and I've tried with my own contacts to sort of get in contact with him, but how about if Eric's listening, would you like to have him this year?
That would be wonderful, really, fantastic. But I think I think he'd like a few bob, don't you?
I don't know, some of these guys...
But if you could sponsor it with something like that, it'd be nice, it'd be brilliant, and think he'd come.
But you never know, some of these guys earn so much money that if they felt like we're helping to keep you in existence, wouldn't it be great if Eric Cantona came to the front?
It would be amazing if he came, yeah, it'd be great.
But somebody like Eric, though, he'd help to keep you in business, wouldn't he?
He would, yeah, he would. He'd be great, really.
Tell us about this next event that you're hoping that you can salvage in April. Who have you got lined up for that one?
We mentioned Andy Cole, who would be fabulous. He's got a fantastic name in the club, and I'm sure a lot of people would love to see him.
I'm glad you mentioned Andy Cole, because we talked about him earlier and you didn't mention him when you were saying you had the shortlist. So I know, so Andy Cole's on the shortlist. So hopefully if you can salvage this situation and get the club, get Jim Ratcliffe to open his wallet, he'll have an event, a tribute night for Andy Cole in April.
I'd love to do that, yes. Yeah, I would.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thanks for... One of the main reasons for doing this video is to try and get some public support, because, you know, it's important that the fans know what's going on. We don't want them to be misinformed. We don't want them to think that these are rich players lining their pockets. And we need them to understand that, you know, this was a big event coming up, the 40th year. I mean, tell us about how important do you think that really is to the association?
Well, it's going to be very big for us, really. If we don't hear anything, where we're going to go or what we're going to do, and obviously I'm hoping some of the players that are big stars at the moment could come in and help and push them and say, we will help you. That's what I'm looking for.
I know Omar Barada is the man that can't write off the cheques at the moment because it goes higher than him. So what would you say if you got a phone call tomorrow from Sir Jim Ratcliffe?
That would be fabulous. What I could say, I'd wish him the best. And I don't know what sort of a job he's doing, but I think he's going the wrong way, by getting rid of the old boys, really do.
I mean, Sir Jim Ratcliffe was in a position where he could have made himself a legend, couldn't he?
Yes,
but he seems to be trying to do it without taking the fans.
He still can do it. I just can't understand why he's gone that way. I can't understand it. I was in business myself after I finished football, and you don't hit people on the head like that.
So maybe if he's thinking what his New Year's resolutions are going to be, you could suggest one for him.
I'm not swearing on this one.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Well, I hope that we can have a happy ending to the story, and I look forward to hoping to help you rescue the event in April. If anybody's got any suggestions, they can get in touch with you or give the description. We'll put the details in the description. So if anybody wants to help, because I know we talked about the possibility of crowdfunding, maybe that's one option. Yeah. I know we've got a couple of guys who are looking at sponsorship potential, so I guess it's a case of watch your space.
That'd be fabulous, yeah. If they could do that, it'd be brilliant.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, thank you.